What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video of the G37. So, today's video is gonna be something that I've wanted to redo ever since I got the car. Because these headlights, when I got the car, as I explained in my video, were off of a Skyline originally from Japan. I opened them up, put some cheap eBay halos just to do the work for the time being, and painted the house in black. And I don't like how everything that condensated and I don't know, something like stuck to the inside of the lens. I'm assuming I didn't wait long enough for it to cure. So now that I showed you some information about it, let's get inside, work on this headlight, and get it done. Alright guys, so now we're inside and I'm going to show you what we need to do. So set your oven to bake, put it 225 Fahrenheit, then start. Now, this is just preheating it, and you want to leave it about this high and this far up. Yeah. So this headlight, because I had leakage, I tried to put some silicone in here to try and fix it. I'm going to get rid of all of that. What we're going to have to do, all you need for this stage is Phillips. So there's screws for brackets that are all around here. You gotta remove them. Whatever's connecting the housing to the lens. And then there is screws that connect this housing to the lens directly, not with brackets. Those will have to come off to make your life easier. And then there is this bracket right here, just two Phillips. You don't have to remove any single bulb, you don't have to remove any wires, you don't have to remove any covers. Those are fine because we're not setting it too hot. We're just setting it hot enough or long enough just to loosen the what is it called? The butyl sealant. So once that's nice and loose, we pry it apart. For the second stage, which after it's hot, we will need gloves because you don't want to burn your hands. Trust me, it's gonna be hot.
The dark, stand by, watch me fall apart. I've always loved you more than you know, Father. Don't you let me go.
So now I basically wait 13 to 15 minutes for opening it first time. I'm just gonna wait 15 minutes. That should be more than good. It'll be nice and hot, and then I'm gonna take it out. Now, guys, let me show you a trick for stripping chrome. Now this piece is the one that actually you saw breaking off, but it's just held by one tab that's over here, and I'm gonna glue it back. That's fine. Anyways, the best thing to strip the chrome off, and you have to probably do like a couple tries on it, is any oven cleaner. Usually the heavy duty stuff is best. That way you make sure you clean all of it, but you don't want to breathe this stuff. It's pretty strong. And be generous with it, so don't be shy. There we go. We're gonna let that sit while I'm working on the rest of the headlight, and then I'm gonna come back, wash it off, add more. As we can see, the headlight housing itself is open. Two parts. For the G37, obviously every car is a little different, but for the G37, when you open it, the main housing is screwed down with 3 screws to the lens, and then the housing itself has the reflector, and mine is the Sport Edition, which has the headlights that turn. Now, I need to recalibrate those anyways, and I'm gonna change a bunch of stuff in here, as you're gonna see. Now, this is for the next step, just getting it ready right here. Basically what you need to do to remove this lens is there is tabs right here that are squeezed in. There's 4 of them, I believe. Yep, there's 4. Pry them back to where they're straight, and then you're gonna have to pry this up. So when you pry this up, then the lens will be loose, and then you can take it out. So let me show you how. You might also need a pick. I just use a small flathead driver. This one's actually coming out pretty easy, unlike the first one that I did. So the passenger side really wasn't that. So now this cover is out. Be very gentle. I don't really care about this lens because we can guess where it's going. We'll have it wrong. Now here we go. That's actually the clear lens. Uh-oh. Now, I hope this is not what I think it is, but I'm going to try and show you through the camera. You see these two lines right here? Yep. I believe this is cracked. Or maybe it's just scratched. Well, it shouldn't really make a difference, but I'm going to try and work with it. So, because I ain't about to go and wait forever to get a replacement lens, because trust me, this was a while until it came in. Okay, so now next step, very carefully, I like to hold it on both ends, gently into here, and then align it with the tabs, and place this in. Okay, so now it's pretty much in place. Okay, this one was easier to get out, but not easier to put back in. Make sure the lens itself is clean. Okay, let's put this aside for a second. Now, the old halo. This thing, straight up garbage. What I'm gonna do is cut the wires and try not scratch this because I really don't want to repaint it. Officially, no more old halo. This thing, eBay stuff, garbage. Because it was half burnt anyways. Now, this is the good stuff. Put this aside for now. Don't need this. Oh, this halo is amazing. I love how these just have like brackets on the edges to just kind of have the wires mount them. Unlike many halos like the cheaper brands or other ones that are out. Alright, and I'm back. So, I made the drilling, touched it up a little bit so you don't see any scratches. And now we're gonna mount the halo. Part right here, after all the wires are done, the easiest thing, grab yourself a pair of needle nose and just, you don't want it too tight, you don't want it too loose, because if you over tighten it, it will snap. Sometimes it does even without you doing that. So basically, once you do that, tight. Alright guys, so this thing is finally done. This one right here. It was a pain. Now, I will have to route this through here. This sits like this and it just goes back on. Both places, just make sure. It's normally easy to do. Alright, now, just put this aside for a second, because what I gotta do is wire everything through here. Now with mine, there used to be a daytime running light bulb that I said, yeet! So, I deleted the bulb, and then used the connectors for it because it was connected to the no, that wasn't a daytime running bulb. That was a parking light. It's right under the fog light, and basically what I did is I disconnected it, disabled it, and then used the wires that go through it to go through here to connect to the halos. Let's fix it from here so I don't have to do a ton of work over there. But yeah, basically the blue one for me is the positive and the white one is the negative. And then all I have to do is connect a wire through from the positive of the signal, run it through here, and then that way my switchback halos will be running properly. Yeah.
Can I be your star tonight? You fill my soul with light the day we met. I don't wanna leave your side. Have me by your side when the sun sets. Let's leave for an eternity. We'll sail across the lights.
Alright, after a quick break, I'm back. So, for the bulbs, since I've already tested these and they're working, there's a slight adjustment that I have to do on my car, which I don't understand why they sent it like this on my car. Put the gloves back on. You don't want to touch bulbs with your only hands or the dirty or whatever. Okay, here we go. So basically these tabs right here, which would screw into most headlights mine, basically void the warranty right here, I guess. So, now the next step is a little bit tricky because see where this points? It has to be pointing down. And there is a little tab right here that you're gonna pinch off. So, did I just... You see this? I just broke my cutters with a piece of plastic. How do you do that? Okay, now I'm back with a little bit of a bigger pair of cutters. I can't believe that I just broke that. Okay, so basically, what you want is this. So it's locked in place. Now all I have to do is just bolt everything back up. Everything is connected. And then I'm just gonna test the bulbs to make sure everything is working properly. And we're good to go. Okay guys, so now the inside of the housing is done. We're gonna remove these 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. Where's the third one? Oh, I lost it. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3. You remove these, wiggle it out of place, the housing comes off, and I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. So now that we're inside the garage, it's a little bit less noisy. No. Normally you wouldn't want to really touch the inside of the lens, but since mine was already messed up, and I'm not too concerned about scratching it or whatsoever. So basically what this was, I'm pretty sure of this, because I didn't wait long enough for the paint to cure. So what happened is, it evaporated and then got stuck on the lens. And from the look of this, yeah, I'm gonna have to sand everything up. So basically, guys, now that I sanded this with 400, or most of it at least, I'm gonna finish the rest with 800 to prep it for clear. Now, let's see if the camera catches this. See some of those cracks? Now, these I cannot fix because they're all the way through. I don't know if the clear coat will improve it a tiny bit. This I'll have to do for now, because look at this, guys. That's like brand new now. So, yeah. Now, at worst case scenario, if you don't have a coat gun, you could use the two-coat clear. That's the kind of Headlight. Just basically, when you're ready to use them, you press the on there, and then you have a few hours before you can use them anymore. But yeah, like that'll work too. Because in my case, because I'm staying in the garage and I get dust no matter what, I'll have to polish them either way. So first I do the inside, and that way when I flip it, the surface is not touching anything because honestly the inside is so deep. So then I do the top side. So yeah, 3 coats each. There we go. Now I set my gun to not spray too much alcohol. So it's a little dry spraying. So I just basically finished laying 3 coats on the inside. Now you're just gonna do the same on the outside. Clean it up, spray it, and then you're good to go. Just wait it out until it dries properly, and then polish it. And let's just first put over here. Check this out. That's with clear coat. Now just wait until I sand this and polish it. There's dirt nibs in there, if you can see them. But then again, like I said, that's in the garage. And it honestly also improved those stress cracks. Like, you could still see them, but you could still see them less than before. So, I mean, before they were just like right there, you know, very, very, very noticeable. But yeah. And guys, so as far as the headlight, this is where I made my cut for the wires to go through. Obviously, it's a 7/8 or a 22mm, and it fits perfect. So this way, there's not going to be any water going through. Boys, they're wired in. That is probably super wide, but that's the halo and the HID on. And this is just the halo alone. Like, look at that. Let me show you the signal. So I kept the factory one too, because I don't have a resistor to make this flash slower, because it just flashes fast. And it's not there, but hey, you know what? I don't mind it. It's pretty nice. Alright guys, so basically, I just sanded the inside of the lens now. And I went by hand, obviously, because the inside you can't really reach it with the DA sander. But I went 1000 wet sanding and then 2000. And I de-nibbed it as much as possible. Some stuff like these are pretty deep, so after I polish you won't really see them, but for the most part this is what you want it to look like. And now guys, to prep it for polishing, I just covered the entire headlight so it doesn't scratch up when I lay it the other way around, because it's going to be tough holding it and then polishing it with a drill. I'll show you the pad that I'm using. So actually it's right here. Oh, look at me. Haha. So I'm just gonna wash this really good, because it's, you know, you don't want to use it like this. But I wash it, dry it out really good, and then I'll show you how I do it. I'm gonna try and have it look the best it can be. So here you go. Might want to grab some popcorn because, well, You're probably gonna see this in time lapse, but trust me, this will take a while, especially if you want it done proper. So. Alright guys, now look at this thing. It's beautiful. That's all been polished. I know you see a little bit of scratches, but that's within the clear coat. I don't know what, it's probably previous or whatever. But hey, you know what? Compared between how it was and now, like I said, it looks amazing. And this is only the inside of it polished. I didn't think that I would need to polish the outside, honestly, because there is only like one dirt nib and that's it. So, not really need to polish it. Plus, there is no orange peel. But yeah. And now, just make sure you seal the headlight like I did. The butyl stuff, you can stretch it. So when it comes in the packaging, it's pretty thick. But you stretch it and then it becomes thin and then you can cut it. One package is enough for like multiple headlights, not just one or two. So, yeah. I mean, clean bead all over. It's all clean. This is all plugged in. Gonna put it on top of this, then I'll preheat it in the oven, then I'll press it. So basically guys, I just put the headlight inside the oven again at 225 Fahrenheit for say 12 minutes, because you don't need it too hot. You're not prying this time, you're pressing, but 12 to 13 minutes max is good. And you want to keep an eye on it, make sure it's not too close and all that. Just center it in the middle. You don't need to remove anything, no wiring, no lights, nothing. So after this is done and it's hot enough, what I'm gonna do is pull it out and then you will press it. You don't need to use vice grips. There is screws that go all around the edges. If you remember that we removed earlier, those screws will pull the outer lens into the inside housing. So sometimes they don't align properly, but you'll see it. Like, we'll press it first by hand all around the edges, line it up, and then we'll put the screws, and then it should like be perfect. Now that they're both running and they look brand new, it's time to clean up, and then I'm gonna have the car spin around, and then I'm gonna adjust both bulbs. And this is, guys, this is just the halos. Look how bright these guys are, and it looks amazing.
In a city, still so far from home. I've searched for you all my life. Cast out like a shadow, racing towards the light. I pray to see you one more time.